Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are back again with a new interesting video, that is 8 Python hacks to instantly level up your coding skills. So what you have to do whenever you're facing we are doing coding, so you have to just replace your initial codes with this advanced codes and you level up your Python's coding skills. So let's get started. So the first one is list comprehension. Okay, so whenever you are using loops to create list, so you can just directly use the list comprehension thing and you will be just one step closer to master your Python. Now, see, I have to create squares of list from 1 to 9. Okay, means from 0 to 9. So what I'll do, instead of creating a list and then using the loops and then printing it, I'll just simply use the list comprehension and in one line I'll just do that thing. Okay, so here you can see the code. What I have done, I've taken a squares name object. Okay, in that I'm taking a list. In that list I'm used the list comprehension thing, means at the first place what I want. So I want the output to be this, that all the numbers should be the square. So I have given x exponential operator and then 2, so that every number at means one time whatever the value of x will be, that will be squared. Okay, then I've iterated the loop in one line for x in range 10. So this will iterate it from 0 to 9. Okay, and then I'm printing the squares. Now you can simply see the output. Okay, in the list we are getting the squares of all the numbers from 0 to 9: 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64 and 81. Okay, now let's come to the second code, that is to use the enumerate for index loops. Suppose you have a list and you want that index value of that list should also get printed. So for that, you just simply need to use the enumerate function. Yes, there is a function in Python. You can just directly use that. So for using that, you have to use a loop. So as you can see, I have a list of items A, B, and C. So I am using a loop for index and value because we want both the index and the value also. So I have used two variables here for iterating index and the value. And then I'm used in enumerate, and then I'm put my list inside the enumerate function. Okay. Now this enumerate will do what? This enumerate will iterate over the value and print the index value also. Okay, so when I'll print index and value, so now you can see the output 0a, 1b and 2c. We are printing the index value also. Okay, now the next code is unpacking multiple variables. Yeah, Python allows us to unpack multiple variables from a list or a tuple in one line. Okay, means suppose if I have a list which has three elements and I want to unpack all these three elements in three different variables. So yes, I can do that. How I can do that? I have just take three different variables just as for all the three elements. So as you can see, A, B, and C. I have taken A, comma B, comma C, and then there is my list which has three elements, 1, 2, 3, and I'm printing this ABC. So A will have 1, B will have 2, and C will have 3, as you can see. Okay. Now let's come to the next code, that instead of using normal techniques for printing the strings, what we can do, we can use the f string, the formatted string method. Okay, it is more efficient way to print any variable in a string, and it is very easy also. What you have to do, suppose you have a variable. Okay, just like here I have a variable name which has Alice in it. Okay, Alice string, it is a name. Then I want to print this name in my next sentence. So what I'll do, I'll use the print function. Then I'll convert my string into an f string. Then I'll be able to print any variable or any amount of variable inside my list. Okay, oh sorry, inside my string. How? Only you have to do, you have to put your variables inside the curly braces. As you can see here, I have put my variable inside the curly braces. Now when I'll execute my cell, you will see hello Alice. Okay, so you have to just do what? You have to just convert a normal string. If I'll remove this f from here, so it will be a normal string, and if I add f, so now it is a formatted string. So you can use a f string, okay, for printing variables in your string. Now the next one is to use a lambda function. Yes, lambda functions are sort and anonymous function which has no name. Okay, so when you have to create a sort function for a sort operation, so then instead of creating a defined function which has a name, you can just simply create a lambda function in just one line. Okay, and it will do the work, means similar. it will do this similar work. Okay, so what you have to do, I have taken an object multiply. Okay, then in that object multiply, I am creating a lambda function. For creating a lambda function, you have to write the or use the keyword lambda. So you have to write lambda lambda, then give a space, and then you have to write how many parameters you want. Okay, so I am creating a lambda function for doing the multiplication of two values. So what I'll do, I'll take two parameters, x comma y. Okay, now then you have to give a colon. After the colon, what operation you want to perform on that two parameters? So I want to perform the multiplication between them. So I have just written x multiply x asterisk y. Okay, and then I'm just printing multiply, and I'm giving two values, 2 and 3, and now you will see 6. Okay, let's come to the next code, that is generators. Okay, yes, Python generators. Python generators are nothing but they are a normal functions only, but instead of what happens when we create a function, all the values are get printed at the same time. But when we create a Python generator, then the values are means generated on the fly, on the go. Okay, so it means what? It means, first of all, let's talk about the syntax. In a normal function, we return, but in a generator Python function, we just yelled. Instead of return, we yelled. Okay. So what is the difference between return and yelled? Return returns all the items at the same time. Yell returns one item at a time. Okay. So here you, as you can see, I have created a normal Python function count up to. I've taken a parameter. I'm initializing a num equal to 0. Then I'm using a while loop. Okay. So till then num is less than n, I want to yield num. Okay, and I'm incrementing num also by each time one value. Okay, so now I'll call my Python function. Okay, now let's see the output. Okay, so we are getting a memory address, we are not getting anything. Why? Because when we use yield and when you call it normally, so it will give you the memory address. So when you are means when you have created a Python generator, so then what you have to do, then you have two options. One option is that you can use a loop. Okay, I gen, and then you can simply print I. Okay, so one option is you can use the loop to print all the values. Okay, then another option is what you can do. Another option is there is one function, that is next function. Okay, so use of that next function is that it will give one value at a time. Okay, so suppose at the first time it gives us 0, then I'll again call the next function. Okay, so now I call the next function 5 times. So it is giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and our function will go till 5. And in the condition you'll see it is less than, means the num will be less than n, means it is not equal to. So it will be till 4 only. So what happen if I'll give you one more next gen? Okay, so if I'll give one more next gen, so now it will give me an exception of stop iteration. Okay, now you can see when I've given 6 next gen, then you will see an exception to stop iteration, that now you cannot, there is no more values are generated. So you cannot generate more values. So there will you face an exception to stop iteration. Means it is just like a notification that you now you we have no values. We have not generated any value. Okay. So that is the thing. But when in the time of loop, it will generate till full. It is not going to give you a stop iteration. Okay. Now let's come to the next code, that is mastering the dictionary comprehension. Yes, just like the list comprehension, dictionary comprehension is also there. Okay, but in dictionary comprehension, you have to just follow the syntax of a dictionary. Okay, what are the syntax of the dictionary? First of all, the braces. Okay, in the normal list comprehension you have to use the square braces, but in dictionary you have to use curly braces. Okay, because dictionaries are inside curly braces. Then dictionaries are in always key value pair. Okay, if there is key value pair, then only it is a dictionary. So you have to follow that approach in dictionary comprehension also. So as you can see, I am doing the same thing which I have done in the list comprehension. I'm printing the squares of numbers from 0 to 9, but in a dictionary. Okay, so in a dictionary, first of all, it will be inside the curly braces. Then in dictionary, there are key value pairs. So yes, you can see I have given x colon and then the value what I want. So I want the x to be go from 0 to 9 and the values. Okay, will be the square of it. Okay, and then I'm just simply iterating my loop for x in range 10, and I print the squares. So I'll get a dictionary with key will be the numbers from 0 to 9, and the values will be varying, means values will be their squares. Okay, as you can see, 0 0 1 1 2 4 3 9 4 16 and so on 981. Okay, now the last one is the zip method. Okay, so whenever you have two or three lists with you, okay, so then if you want to iterate parallel in each of the lists, so then what you can do, then you simply have to use the zip method. Okay, so how you will use that? So first of all, you will just take how many, means the number of, you have the number of list equals to the number of variables you will use in the iteration. So now I have two lists, so I'll use two variables. Okay, so for name comma score in zip function, and then inside the function you will put all the name of the dictionary which you want to just iterate parallelly. So names and scores, these are the two lists with me, and I'll print now using the f string the two variables name and the score. Now let's see the output. So you can see Alice 85, Bob 90, and Charlie 95. Okay, but if you interchange this one, then 85 Alice, 90 Bob, and 95 Charlie you will get. Okay, so this is the thing. So these were the 8 Python hacks. So you have to just replace your previous codes with these interesting methods, functions, and techniques, and you will just be a level up. You'll do a level up in your Python coding. Okay. So thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next video.